It seems to me and many others that we live in a time where we as a society have become dull in our thinking. We have become content with accepting that life may just simply be an accident, or life may just be about obtaining money, or that it is about working your way into happiness through having possessions. That somehow through having these materialistic items, they indicate a position of success. For others, life is about gaining power and fame or having a particular status within one's community. Or for some, they need the status that is recognized amongst their nation, or even to the level that is revealed around the world. It is almost as if it's okay that we all live in our own versions of our own truth, that we believe that something is the way it is because we feel like that's how it is, or that it should be that way, and that way is okay. We live as almost there is no actual truth at all. For most, truth is just something that they claim is real as long as it benefits their life, or at least the way they want to live. But for a very small part of all human history, truth is the absolute most important thing that has to do with life itself. So this brings me to the point of asking, what is truth? For some time now I have wondered what defines truth. Is it something that resides within us, or is it something that is outside of oneself? Where does it come from? Why does it even matter? Does it affect us? Is it something that is even real? We can literally ponder on many questions as to what truth is, but one thing we cannot do is just simply act as if the question has no significant importance to everyone who has ever existed, whether we want to admit it or not. I have come to believe, and so have many others throughout history, that truth is more than just something that has no major importance or just simply semi-important. But truth within itself is the very foundation where all creation is derived from. I mean truly, without the truth, everything that exists would simply fail to exist. Without the truth, there is no you and I, there is no beginning of time, nor present or future time. There is no true order to the universe and all its galaxies. There is no foundation of order that keeps the sun and the planets that we know of in a gravitational pull that keeps them spaced the way they are from the sun in order that we can have the very life to exist on this planet we call Earth. Simply without truth, we cannot have the smallest sense of order and structure for everything to function in the manner that it does. Without truth, there is just absolutely nothing. But before we can understand what truth is, we first must identify the two most common views of what truth could be. The first view is what majority of all mankind has chosen to identify as truth. This version is called or referred to as relative or subjective truth. From this viewpoint, there is no such thing as absolutes, only impressions, images, or only preferences. There are just simply no absolutes to anything, making the claim that something is true or false coming from the perspective of the person making the claim, though there isn't any indication that that thing may actually be true or false. The second view is the view that is referred to as objective truth, or more commonly known as the corresponding theory of truth. The corresponding theory claims that true beliefs and true statements correspond to that of reality. To be true is to accurately describe, in other words, match, picture, depict, express, conform to, and agree with the real world. So now that we have an understanding of the two main views and have both defined them, I will present to you the foundations of the Christian view of truth. From the perspective of a Christian, we believe that truth is ultimately a person. This view altogether comes from the very claim that Jesus states himself, which is, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus doesn't make a vague statement such as he speaks truth, which he most definitely does, but he very well states that he is the truth, which in itself is a very bold and profound claim. Jesus also reveals in John 1 that he has been around before the beginning began. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So with that being said, the truth has always existed because the very being of Jesus has always existed. So then from a Christian's perspective, the objective truth of reality is that which corresponds to reality as it is perceived from God, because God sees reality in its fullest measure from the perfect perspective, from the depth dimension as well as the surface. But the point I come to is this: that from the perspective of one who is omniscient, which is to be all-knowing, there can be such a thing as truth, because there is a creator of truth, because truth derives from his eternal being. And in fact, our eternal destinies will be determined by God's perception of reality, rather than from those who wish to believe in their own versions of reality. Because to be omniscient is to be all-knowing, so that allows God to be able to see things in the accurate way that they are, compared to the one who wants to view things from the lens that suits oneself's perspective, whether or not they see correctly. Matter of fact, that from God's perspective of reality, our eternal destinies will most certainly be based off the reality and the truth that God sees about me, and the reality and truth that God sees about you. I can do everything to hide my blemishes when I stand before God, but there is nothing I can do to present an image that will stop the penetrating glance of His analysis. He will see past the image, He will see past every impression, and get to the truth of the matter of who I am as a person. That's why in the Gospel of Luke in chapter 12, Jesus warns that in the final analysis, all truth, reality, that which is hidden, that which is done in secret, that which is distorted, every single thing that is hidden and concealed will be made manifest. That is quite frightening, isn't it? So then I ask, are we just talking about a God that from a subjective point of view, that if you say to me that if He isn't true to you, then you don't have to deal with Him? In no such way. We are talking about a God who exists whether I believe in Him or not. I'm talking about a God who exists whether any of us believe in Him or not. I'm trying to get at the question of what is truth, or what is reality. I'm not interested in subjective impressions, and neither should you. Nor should we be interested in subjective preferences. I want to get to the truth. God cannot be and not be at the same time and at the same relationship. I'm talking about a God who, if He exists and you don't believe in Him, and you don't pray to Him, and you don't read the Bible, and you are just not interested at all, that even through all your unbelief and all your disinterest in the matter, then it still does not change Him, nor does it have the power to destroy Him. Or in the same way, I am talking about a God who, if He doesn't exist, I can pray to Him until I'm blue in the face, I can sing hymns until I'm exhausted, I can preach sermons every Sunday for the rest of my life, and none of these things has the power to conjure such a being up if He does not exist. I'm talking about truth, not preferences. I'm talking about reality. Now, does it not seem strange to you that the majority who are convinced that truth is subjective? Are you saying that you believe in the relativity of truth just when it is convenient for you? Because if you really believe in such a way, then I think it's safe to say you are either lying to yourself, or that for your own safety and the others around you, that you would need to be protected in a mental hospital, because you have lost your mind to believe we live in a reality where the subjective truth is the absolute truth, which within itself is a contradiction, because if you believe that there is no absolutes, and that is true, then that is an absolute itself. So logically, that's impossible. Because it's clear when you are sitting at a red light and you look to your left and you see a semi-truck running 75, and you say to yourself that if I were to pull out right in front of that truck and it hit me, it would obliterate me, which is true. But if instead you continue to pull out in front of the truck believing nothing will happen, because that is how you wish to believe, or that is your preferred preference of belief, then you will still have to deal with the consequences of your unbelief, and the same is with God. To the majority, they only choose to believe in objective truths when it comes to the matters such as their lives being in danger or them being harmed, but then when it comes to partaking in their desires and pleasures, subjective truth is merely more convenient for them. So with that being said, there is no more dangerous scenario more threatening than understanding what is truth and the truth of a holy God. Because if that truth is real, we are in trouble. Deep trouble, and deep down under all the layers of doubt and disbelief, we know that. One of the most important and fascinating discussions of truth to ever happen took place in a trial in a courtroom where the question of truth was the order of the day, where a Jewish rabbi was on trial for his life before a Roman provincial governor. The Jewish rabbi was on trial for teaching concepts and truths, as it were, that some people didn't like. They accused this man of teaching things that were seditious and could ultimately be destructive to the Roman Empire. So this teacher was arrested and placed on trial for his life. The record of this trial is found in the Gospel of John in the 18th chapter, verses 33 through 40. Therefore Pilate entered again into the praetorium, and summoned Jesus and said to him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus answered, "Are you saying this on your own initiative, or did others tell you about me?" Pilate answered, "I am not a Jew, am I? Your own nation and the chief priests delivered you to me. What have you done?" Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then my servants would be fighting so that I would not be handed over to the Jews. But as it is, my kingdom is not of this realm." Therefore Pilate said to him, "So you are a king?" Jesus answered, "You say correctly that I am a king. For this I have been born, and for this I have come into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth hears my voice." Pilate said to him, "What is truth?" So Jesus, making it clear how he wanted to be addressed and how he wants to be known to Pilate, we can't say, "Well, I think Jesus came into the world for this," or "I think Jesus came into the world for that." So if we want to get at the truth and we want to respect him, so we should ask, what are you all about? What do you want to be called? How do you want to be known? What is it that you wish to reveal of yourself? What are you really all about, Jesus? He answered it and revealed it by saying, "I came to the world to bear witness to the truth. That's what I'm about." Then he adds something unbelievable. Listen to what Jesus tells Pilate. Please listen to this. "And everyone who is of the truth hears my voice." If you don't believe Jesus, if you don't follow Jesus, then according to Jesus, you are not of the truth. And most of you will say, "Hey, wait a minute, don't play games like that. I don't believe that Jesus is true. I don't believe that he is the truth." And I understand that, but be careful here, because Jesus has the evidence of history on his side of truthfulness, much more than any other mortal man that has ever walked this planet. Be very careful before you call him a liar. I want you to understand this much at this point. According to his judgment, if you are of the truth, you will hear him because he bears witness to the truth. Just like Jesus says in John 10:27 through 28, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give eternal life to them, and they will never perish, and no one will snatch them out of my hand." So remembering what he said that I discussed earlier, he said to his disciples when they were confused and wanted to know the way, he said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." He has revealed to them and to us that he is the truth. So I want to end this with a few ideas I've got from C.S. Lewis, because many people over the course of time have concluded this about Jesus, that he may not have been the truth, nor was he God in the flesh, or anything more than just a man. But one thing they say is, if we take his teachings, they are a great baseline of moral standards to uphold and to follow. But do not be deceived by this view. Because if Jesus was just simply a man and said the sort of things Jesus said, he would not be a great moral teacher. He would either be an absolute madman or lunatic, or he would truly be who he claimed to be. You must come to the terms for yourself. Either Jesus truly was the Son of God, the way, the truth, and the life, with full certainty, or else he was literally insane. You can shut him up for a fool, you can spit at him and kill him as a devil, or you can fall at his feet and call him Lord. But let's not come with any nonsense about him being a great human or moral teacher. He has not left that open to us, nor did he intend to.